You're such an asshole.
So I got a request to from a regular to make a case for the liberal arts, and I trust him because he's not. I remember him, uh, and I'm always for different arguments and all that. And it's not that you got to choose one or the other. You know, it's black or white, but usually there's a secondary or tertiary. Like, yeah, this ain't going to help you get a job, but there's still some value and merit in this. And so I did want to uh, provide some. Platform or an audience for this. So he writes, the human body has over 600 muscles. Some people are born with larger and stronger muscles than others. Historically, bigger, stronger muscles within limits confers many advantages in terms of general usefulness to one's tribe. In the modern world, with our labor saving devices, strength and endurance don't play the crucial role in one's survival as they once did. Nevertheless, developing one's strength and endurance can confer many benefits where one's health is concerned. According to the CDC, obesity related illnesses and physical deconditioning cost the U.S. healthcare system over $200 billion a year. Yeah, but if we didn't have healthcare costs, or if we didn't have government healthcare, then it would just be like, oh, I guess that costs you. That doesn't, it wouldn't cost us it, but we got to have free things because vote for me. Needless to say, a physically fit society is more likely to become a financially viable society. Therefore, it behooves the society to ensure the physical fitness of its members. One does not need to utilize equipment beyond a pull up bar and a jump rope to achieve reasonable physical fitness. Rather, a regimen of push ups, pull ups, squats, jumping, sit ups, and back bridges and sprinting can develop a well rounded physique. However, there are limits to this method of training, particularly in terms of developing size and brute strength in the lower body and lower back. By training with external resistance, weights, machines, resistance bands, one can develop muscle size and strength beyond what would be achieved with an exclusively body weight regimen. However, this equipment can be expensive and can potentially require more space than one has at their home. Additionally, when exercising training at home, one may be less motivated to find oneself stagnant. Attending a gym allows exposure to new training ideas and methods that can help a trainee improve their regimen. Here's the advantage of the gym. The cost of purchasing and maintaining the equipment is shared among the paying members. Therefore, it is often cheaper to frequent a gym unless one has been very consistent with training for several years. But the gym can be daunting to the newcomer. The human body has over 600 muscles and combines those muscles to perform thousands of movement pattern variations. And many gyms attempt to train each of those movements with a separate machine. Newcomers can find themselves overwhelmed with choice and often fail to develop, much less adhere to a regimen that would benefit them. Furthermore, many newcomers may perform the movements in such a way that predisposes them to injuries. There are entire YouTube channels devoted to showcasing such people. I have spent so much time learning how to do delts. Hold it this way. There's technique, and then you find out, oh, my body's different than the people on the video. And I kind of even came up with my own way to get the delts to pop, and they haven't popped like I like them to. Hence the existence of trainers and coaches. An effective coach or trainer would assist the client in developing a fitness regimen tailored to his inherent capabilities, periodically assess the client's progress, and adjust the client's form and technique regimen as needed to minimize the risk of injury, and would also assist the client in progressing the difficulty of this regimen over time to help the client achieve his or her stated goals. But the availability of gyms and coaches do not ensure a fit society. It falls on the client to utilize these resources. Someone can have access to the best gym in the world, but if he goes to the gym and walks on the treadmill at a leisurely pace, like all Americans do, at a leisurely pace while playing on his phone and does nothing else, he will have wasted his money since these activities can be done at home. Conversely, one can build a decent physique with body weight exercises alone. The person who benefits the most from the gym is the person who makes a sincere effort to maximize his fitness with basic exercises with minimal equipment before attempting to use the equipment and exercises at the gym. What does all this have to do with school and education? Educational attainment has been shown to decrease mortality and lead to a higher quality of life. He provides some research. Therefore, it behooves a society to ensure that its members are properly educated. Brain smarts are like muscles. Some people are born with more, but everyone can develop whatever they're born with. Thanks to modern telecommunications, people have access to more information than any prior point in recorded history, but the sheer volume of information can be overwhelming. Also, there is a lot of misinformation. There are obstacles for those who wish to learn. Schools have the potential to be like gyms for the minds, and the teachers are like the coaches and trainers. A good teacher at a reputable institution of learning would guide a student towards educational resources, periodically assess the student to ensure that they are progressing their knowledge and skills, dispel misconceptions, adjust the curriculum as needed, and assist the student in increasing the difficulty of the curriculum over time until the student achieved his or her stated goal. Furthermore, at school, the student can potentially meet like minded individuals who will expose him to new methods of learning and the fields of study to help and improve his educational journey. Now, I'd like to address some issues with the educational system in the USA. Here are some of my observations. A decent strength and conditioning coach will agree that the majority of trainees' strength gains are achieved from a handful of exercises: squats, deadlifts, bench press, overhead press, barbell rows, push ups, chin ups, dips, weighted carries, sprints, and weighted sled pushes. This kind of regimen does not require much equipment. All that is needed is a squat rack, bench, pull up bar, weights, and a sled. While this equipment can appear expensive at a gym, the cost of this equipment can be split among many members, since the equipment can be reused for many years. A similar statement can be made for school. There are a few fields of study that will yield the greatest educational gains. The reading, writing, and arithmetic trio, combined with logic and rhetoric, would teach students to acquire and understand written information, convey that information through speech and writing, have basic skills in numeracy, and be able to draw conclusions from observation. These classes could be supplemented with basic courses in civics, economics, history, and science so that the population can vote properly. I'm not laughing at you. A good internet connection or other information source, such as books, articles, instructional videos, desk, writing implement, and a medium for recording ideas, example, notebook or notebooks, and a room where a handful of like-minded individuals can gather are all that is needed to teach many subjects. Therefore, in order to achieve basic education, the cost should be reasonable for the majority of the public. Yeah, no, that's why that before the internet or broadcasting, and even you would just, we're all going to sit here in this room. Just like the gym, some of this material equipment, such as the desk and educational materials, are reusable. Of course, some areas of study require laboratory or workshops, such as the sciences, tech, and trades. That's a separate issue beyond the scope of this email. At a gym, the coach would need to be compensated for his time, same for the school. I'm sure that a classroom of 10 students could split the cost fairly to compensate a teacher for receiving proper attention. I'd like to address the fact that many students are the mental equivalent of the hypothetical gym goer who walks leisurely on the treadmill and plays on his phone, i.e., much of what they learn in school could have been learned more efficiently at home, and they aren't putting in the effort to actually benefit from attending school. This drives up the cost of education since these students are consuming resources while achieving a suboptimal education. Would like to argue that the benefits of studying the humanities and social sciences, as stated earlier, the majority of one's fitness can be achieved with basic exercises, as mentioned in the previous paragraph. However, one should also supplement the regimen with mobility exercises of stretching and accessory movements in order to train the body from different angles. My take is that the humanities and social sciences can act as the mental equivalent of stretching, mobility, and accessory exercises. They can be used to supplement an education in the sciences, trades, engineering, math as a means of training the mind to think from a different angle. Was it that the argument for not prequels, prereqs? I mean, that was the whole point back in the day. And now it's just a money-making operation in colleges. For example, it's beneficial for the general public to have a basic understanding of economics, history, and political science, even though attaining a degree in these fields may not yield immediately viable financial benefits. Likewise, studying literature and philosophy can provide great mental stimulation, often foster creativity. Some of the liberal arts have a place in the education. In summary, society benefits if its members are physically fit. Likewise, society benefits if its members are properly educated. The key word there is properly. We are more educated than we've ever been, globally even, especially in the United States. But they got the wrong education. My question specifically to you, Aaron, is: would you agree that studying the liberal arts and non-STEM subjects can actually be beneficial to society if done properly? Yeah, if done properly. Yeah, there's a benefit to it, sure. I've always said you shouldn't have more than an associate's degree in economics. There is important things to learn in economics. There are important things to learn about philosophy. There are important things, even business management. I would say there are some key things to learn. But God, especially with business management, that's like a week-long seminar. Economics, like I said, maybe an associate's degree. And only in an ancillary supplemental sense. But yes, but you're right, and you know the the drawbacks, you put in big quotes here, if done properly, because right now our teachers are ideologues. They're Marxists, they're leftists, they're also lazy and just I think they're mean and hate-filled too. If I'm trying to think of a philosophy. I can't remember if I took philosophy or not. Uh, sure, fine, go back way in the day, you would have had a professor that would have taken whatever philosophy very seriously or economics very seriously. Now you just have a bunch of adult child leftists who are avoiding work. There's no intellectual rigor um, in the schools. It would be as if you see a bunch of fat, overweight feminists as fitness coaches or trainers, and all they do is say to eat more and to I don't know, not even do the gym thing, to hate men. Really? Can such an environment be created in which studying liberal arts doesn't leave one destitute, but rather helps develop enhanced critical thinking and communication skills? Um, it can be, but it was 100% dependent upon the intellectual honesty of the people creating such an institution or offering the courses. I do not think a college or university is a place for that. I think having the internet has all the information you need. I think this largely can be replaced by classically written books and autodactism, where people study they study, they do it themselves with kind of a coach or a leader to say, okay, here's what you really got to read, here's what you really got to study. Um, there's but here I'll say this about liberal arts just as I would business courses. It's common sense. Now, maybe the concepts and the words and the terminology that you would find in the liberal arts, or maybe crystallizing the thoughts a little bit more. But over time, if you're intellectually honest, you work for a living, you will become a philosopher, and it won't be deep or anything. Because like, oh yeah, we figured this shit out before. Uh, Having full blown degrees in it, no, no. Uh, I would imagine you could take most of the liberal arts, and in a week have 95% of the key tenets and points passed on to a student, and that would help them down the road. But you would absolutely have to get rid of the politics. You would have to get rid of the leftist socialist politics that currently infest it now. Which is why I've been saying for years the best education is YouTube. You should be replacing teachers with YouTube. You should be replacing professors with YouTube. You should self-teach. You should self-learn. Oftentimes, because that's the only way. This has nothing to do with the veracity or value of the liberal arts or other kind of ancillary educations. There's still value there. It's just the current people we have, not even, I was going to say teaching it. They don't teach it. The current people who are posing as experts in these fields, they have no intention of passing along such wisdom. And also, they have an intention of stretching out as long as possible so they can just make money off of it. A concept I remember having to take like 3 different business management classes. It was all the same horse shit, but there were 3 different business professors that got paid very handsomely at the Carlson School of Management, where you won't learn jack fuck all shit. Can such an environment be created in which studying liberal arts doesn't leave one destitute? Yes. Yes. It would. I think you have that already happening with different historians online, different popular YouTubers online. There's a South Korean who teaches math, and he's got millions of subscribers because he teaches it the best in the world. You have books. I think what the real problem is not the merit and value of working out or going to the gym. It's the lack of actual coaches and trainers who are there to actually help you rather than profit off of you and try and indoctrinate you. You mentioned the local library, but would you agree that having a structured curriculum and instructor and peers with whom to discuss ideas can make this learning more effective? Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But where are you going to find it? And what I would say, since there's no economic value to learning the liberal arts, only intellectual, down the road, it may help you come up with an idea or some, I'll admit to that. But since there's no economic value to it, I think meetup groups, like I joined a Stoic group in the Twin Cities. That didn't cost me nothing. We just sat there and learned about the Stoics and studied it. But yes, it would help to have someone lead and guide. But I mean, no different than a military commander. How good's the commander? Is he going to get you slaughtered? Is he going to take an information? He's got ego and pride and has to, I don't know, get to the hill first. So I believe there's some. There's not a single liberal art field or social science field or business field that has 4 years worth of information you need to study to get a bachelor's degree. None of those fields should require anything beyond an associate's degree, and most of them could be taught in about a week-long seminar. So it would be a quick and expeditious education, and it would have to be like going to the gym. People would voluntarily say, I want to learn more about philosophy. And then it would also require there is intellectual honesty on the part of the educators to teach you actual philosophy, like Stefan Molyneux, or actual economics, which would be me, or I'm trying to think of something, rhetoric, which is just lying. I want to be a sophist. You're just lying. How to be really good at lying. I love philosophy. Philosophy is hilarious because they like, oh, we're so smart and intelligent. I'm like, wait, no, that's just a common sense thing. Don't lie. That's it. That's all philosophy I've ever found is don't lie. There you go. And there's your week-long seminar, and I'll get the fuck out of here and go major in accounting. So it requires the stars to align. Someone who's intellectually honest and interested. Someone who's going to put the work into it. Real materials, and having a coach or a trainer, and you could have peers who are not going to co-opt the subfield for ulterior aims, whether it's political, financial, or otherwise. But I would say more practically today, it's the same situation every young person faces. All of your teachers, except for a very precious few, starting from kindergarten all the way through college, all of them are more or less going to be co-opted for financial motivation and leftist political motivation. The future is going to be self-teaching, self-study, which we thankfully have through the internet and books and all that, or online courses, online colleges. Because you can't trust people today to teach you correctly. I've gone to the internet like, okay, how do I do pull? Okay, I tweaked my back doing you can do pull-ups and work the same muscles. Tradesman, how do I fix this because the tradesmen don't do it right? How do I fix my car because the mechanic fucked it up? You go on YouTube, you do it yourself. Sadly, trusting the adult generation or the elders, we don't have elders anymore. We have political whores and Marxist dick suckers and peddlers of socialism. That's what we got. And so you can't trust them because it's always going to be a lie or a skew or something like that. So that's why you have people just doing it themselves. And yeah, it would be more efficient. Yeah, if you had the right trainer, but we don't have that. So we have to look, every young person alive today, it's like, yeah, thank God for YouTube because my dad didn't teach me this shit. My mom didn't teach me this shit. My teachers didn't teach me this shit. You got to go online. Well, I have a course called The Dad You Never Had because the dad don't even teach the basic shit, teach kids the basic shit. And now you want people to teach history or economics. And it's like, no, and those are wishy-washy subjects that can be totally co-opted for political motivation. But yeah, so there you go. There's value. Yes, there's value in history. There's value in the liberal arts. There's value in even the social sciences. But not more than a month-long seminar. Not more than that. And then you could go on your merry way. And if you want to learn about it, go to the library. All right, there you go. All right, link below my book, Worthless, The Young Person's Indispensable Guide to Choosing the Right Major. We'll see you guys later. Toodles.